Hello and welcome back to the FPL Tom deadline stream for the final match day of the Euros. I'm just going to move that camera there. This will be a joint stream for a little bit. Obviously, we usually do these for the FPL. We will be live on YouTube and on TikTok as well. We'll see how TikTok goes. It was for the first 2 weeks a little bit disappointing, so we just basically stayed on, fantasy and YouTube, but it is what it is. We'll see how, TikTok goes today, but get your questions in, guys, ahead of the final. Any players you're potentially looking at. Captaincy as well is probably going to be the big one for this week as well. I can already see we've got some regulars in the YouTube chat already. Jamie, one of our channel moderators. A Turkey in a Bush, another one of our channel moderators and channel members as well. I can already see we've got some questions as well. Is Kane defo starting because he was doubtful? Yeah, he should start. I think he's going to start. We're obviously going to get the lineups anyway, but he's been in training, so I wouldn't worry about it too much, to be honest. It looks like he's going to start, so to be honest, he's going to start. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. True. A Turkey in a Bush has said it as well. Rex, if you wish to wait an hour, then the lineups will come out before you can make any decision. If you believe some of the predicted lineups that's going around on Twitter at the moment as well, obviously, those have Harry Kane in them as well. So, I think it's good. Tom, what do you plan on doing on the bank holiday we get for winning the Euros? I mean, it'll be a day off work. And if they decide to drop FPL, then I think that's pretty obvious what we're going to be doing. We're just going to be making content, to be honest. But yeah, that's dropping in a few days. Obviously, there was a video already out on the channel already. We're going through my mock draft. So obviously, if you're kind of getting into the mood of FPL, you want to check that out. That is already on the channel. When can you make your FPL team? Officially, it's probably going to be either tomorrow, Tuesday, or Wednesday. Looking like there's probably going to be some price announcements for the next 2 days. Then they're probably going to drop it either Tuesday evening or Wednesday. I'm kind of in the situation where I'd rather it be tomorrow or I'd rather it be Wednesday. That's my position because I've got something on Tuesday. So if it dropped Tuesday, it'd be a little bit of a pain in the arse, but it is what it is. So let's wait and see what happens with that one. Let's obviously share my screen with you guys so you can see my team. Obviously, if you're on TikTok as well and want to come over to the Euro Fantasy final deadline stream, obviously use the YouTube button in the bio as well. Cheers for the follow, Thomas. Appreciate that one. And John Cena has said, Vamos España. Bro, it's coming home. It's coming home. Today's the day. Today is the day. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. What's the best formation for today? I tweeted out earlier that the past finals since 2000, there's been 4 clean sheets. There's only been 2 games with over 3 goals. So to me, I think maybe looking more on the defensive side this week could be better than rather looking at the kind of attacking side, to be honest. Obviously, as well, with the projected goals we've seen, stuff like that, it's quite low. It's quite low. Would you start Gahey or Cahill? Gahey, mate. Of course, Gahey. Is there any player in either starting lineup that you particularly avoid, or is any player a shout? I mean, any player's a shout, to be honest. I think the only avoid for me, it's a tough one, but the only avoid for me probably would be maybe Morata. I just don't think he's going to do that well. But other than that, I think it's probably going to be about the same, isn't it? Yep, England coming home with no trophy. Bro, it's locked. It's locked. It's coming home today. Just so you know, it is locked in. It's done. Easy peasy. Done. So this is how the team is looking. Obviously, we've not got a wild card left. We are just using free transfers for this final week. So currently, we've only got Pickford, Walker, Cucurella, Williams, Olmo, Bellingham, Rice, and Kane. But obviously, if we move over to my transfers, for the moment, oops, I need to get on the actual right screen. There we go. This is my current plan. Now, there's 3 plans and there's 3 ways that I potentially could play this final. So for me, I think what we could do is we back either team more from a defensive standpoint. So that would be Spain in this kind of setup that I've got there, because the data is suggesting that Spain are more likely to win, more likely to get a clean sheet. So we obviously play the unobjective side of it, just looking at the data and using that. Or we can obviously, do the same thing with England and be a little bit patriotic and, want it to come home. Or there is the more balanced approach as well with this side, where we would only bring in maybe one of Carvajal or Laporte, and then probably would just go for like Mark Gahey or something like that, just to kind of have a free at the back, and then Ruiz and Yamal, kind of balance it out a little bit more and play kind of both sides. But that's my thoughts. Let me know what you think of it down in the comments section. Tom, are you going for Luke Shaw? Potentially, you know. If we go for the England like triple stack up, I think it could be worth it. Cheers for the follow, Andrew. Obviously, if you've got any questions on TikTok, get them in the chat. Obviously, if you're enjoying the stream as well, be sure to like it. It pushes it out to more people, which is what we always want. We're also live on YouTube as well, where you can see my team on screen for the final match day of Euro Fantasy as well. Because, you know, it's coming home, but, you know, we've still got to play some fantasy football. We're in a very, very good position. Current rank, 29k. So if we can break into that top 20k today, it would be pretty incredible. Who am I going with captain? I believe I'm going to go with Dani Olmo as my captain. It looks like, kind of from seeing around on Twitter and kind of some of the polls that we've been doing already, we've got one in the chat if you want to get your votes in for that one. But Dani Olmo is leading the way for captaincy as well. It looks like Yamal is a very popular pick as well for the armband this week. And as we come on to see with some projected data as well, I think personally both of those could be great shouts to go for. Do you like the idea of both Rodri and Rice? I think it's not the worst idea in the world. Like, Rodri's quite high on the old projected goal involvement, to be honest. So we'll pop that up in a second as well. Tom, I'm ranked 6k. Still got my wild card. Best formation for me is 3-5-2. Fair enough, mate. Fair enough. I just would say, though, obviously look out for, like, you know, the data. Not many players are projected score. History and kind of big competitions at these final games. Usually it's quite tight. Usually it's kind of like, you know, just very, very tight, very, very niche. Does all 15 player going to be active or just the 11? Just the 11 that will be on the pitch. Obviously, there's no substitutions. You can't do anything like that. It's all going to just be your 15, to be honest. Messi or Ronaldo? I mean, probably Messi. Let's be real. Watkins is in first bench slot if Kane doesn't play. Doubtful for some reason. He'll play. He'll play. I won't worry about that one. He'll definitely play. We're obviously going to get the lineups as well before the game does release. So I think you'll be fine. I think you're going to be fine. Come on, Spain. People are loving Spain in the TikTok chat. It's not happening. It's coming home. It's coming home. Rodri does always score in the high-pressure games, to be fair. Yep. He's got a pedigree of it, hasn't he, as well? Cheers for the Rose Fantasy Football. Appreciate that one, mate. Let's do this, Spain. Mel, it ain't happening. It ain't happening. It's coming home. It's coming out. Yamal is dangerous. I agree. I do agree. If a surprise player starts, will you bring them in? Potentially. Like, we've obviously got the room to manoeuvre. Rumours are that Luke Shaw's going to start. And obviously with him being super low owned, if he does anything and gets himself a clean sheet, you're laughing. So maybe if you're looking for some differentials, kind of have a look throughout the lineups as well. Charlotte has said 3-1 England, Kane, Bellingham and Watkins to get the goals. And Mel has replied, Charlotte, you're dreaming. So it's all kicking off in the TikTok chat. That's why I wanted to bring it back. Obviously, it will be back for the FPL streams as well, because it's always high quality entertainment as well. We've got someone from Gibraltar. Welcome to the stream, man. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're doing well. If you want your team rated by me, your Euro Fantasy team rated by me, leave it under my most recent tweet at FPLTom_. Leave it under there and we'll review those probably around maybe about 6:45-ish. And then obviously we'll have the lineups around 7. And that's when obviously we'll start to finalise our transfers going into that one. Jamie has said, I'm tempted on Shaw. I really hope Watkins starts. Would be a great differential. I don't think Watkins is going to start, but Shaw could be a really, really decent shout. Did you see the Darwin Núñez fight? I did indeed. I did indeed. That's our boy. That's our boy. It's coming home 2024. It's in the chat as well. Ollie Watkins going to bang a hat-trick. It's the Exeter City vibes. Interestingly, Mansfield tried to buy him before he moved to Brentford for 300,000. He then moved to Brentford that summer for a couple mil. That's kind of the club that I've grown up with that are just idiots. Saka or Foden or Ruiz. I think this is probably the perfect time to move over to the data set. Like I said, if you are looking for any data for the final, then this is the place to be honest, because, you know, you have it all right here. So, obviously, we're going to get questions like which player is better, Saka, Foden, or Ruiz. I think personally, for my own sake, I would say potentially one of Saka or Foden. I feel like Foden can come off a little bit earlier, but Saka for me is probably the best option. in my personal opinion. But the data as well can give you an unbiased kind of view. The data is suggesting that Foden is at the highest of getting goal involvement. Again, this is all coming from 11ify. If you want to go and check out any of their amazing work, link to that in the description. But it is suggesting Foden is the most likely to get goal involvement in this final. Saka's still up there as well, but Ruiz, where is Ruiz? I can't even see him on this list, or am I going blind? Am I going blind? No, there he is. He's just above Declan Rice. So for me, probably if you're looking for an unobjective kind of viewpoint, the data is suggesting Foden and Saka, but there's only 0.28 projected goal involvement in it. So it's quite tight. It's quite tight. Let's just put it that way. I'm starting to get nervous. Spain, English or Spanish, bro? I ain't falling for that one. You know, I've got to talk to the people. Foden did cook for a bit versus the Netherlands. He did indeed, but you know, it is what it is. Foden and Mainu linking up for 30 minutes was cooking. It was. That first half definitely looked like, you know, I was getting a little bit of FOMO around Phil Foden, but it did fall away. 25 points behind my mini league. Hail Mary out of England and captain Foden. I mean, if you're that far behind, I think you just back on one team, like you said, and go all in for England and just go for the Foden captain. I'm not against it. I think that could be a decent shout. I'm only able to take 3 midfielders. Who do I take? Probably for me, Olmo, Williams, Foden, Bellingham, Saka. One of those 3. Sorry, out of those. Who do you think is going to get a yellow card? Probably Rodri. There you go. Done. I did that question as well. I think if you're looking for captaincy as well, this data could be really useful. Obviously, Kane quite high up in terms of the projected goal involvement as well. So he's a very, very decent shout. I'm all for that one. Yamal and Olmo, obviously very, very popular picks in the chat as well. Olmo leading the way. I imagine he's probably going to be the most captain player going into this final. Pretty good projected goal involvement. There's actually not too much in it between him and Yamal. So you might be thinking, oh, well, I'll look at this and I'll just pick Yamal. But the interesting point for me is the goal projections. Now, Olmo is projected more goals. Obviously, midfielders pick up more points for goals and assists, whereas Yamal's is actually for the assist. They actually pick up less. So for me, just kind of deducing that, I would be saying go for Olmo captain. He's going to be the best one. Everybody I know who isn't interested in football has been rooting for Spain and England since the quarters because of the English or Spanish. Bro, it's so good, isn't it? The amount of memes I've seen, it's absolutely jokes. We get 2 caps or 1, just the 1 captain. Obviously, no substitutions either. Obviously, we'll have the automatic ones if a player doesn't play, but you aren't going to have the manual substitutions or manual changing of the captaincy either. Show team? Yeah, no worries, man. So, this is kind of what we're thinking with the transfers already. Obviously, we've still got to wait around for the squads to be announced before we do kind of make any kind of decisions on any of that. But at the moment, we're leaning slightly towards backing the Spanish defence. And I'll show you the reason why that is. Because currently, this is the reason why. This is projected data from Rob T FPL. And obviously it does have Spain winning the final. Like it just does project Spain to win the final more. Opta's data as well is also suggesting a Spain win. They projected more goals and have higher clean sheet odds as well going into this final. So 36% chance. Obviously I'm using my unobjective bias. Like we could very easily go down the English route and just kind of go full English. But at the moment, we're just going to go with the data. But obviously, that could change. If, like, I see Luke Shaw in there, maybe we're just going to, you know, change. We're just going to change. We've got people saying, España, Spain. It's coming home. Like, come on. Don't be daft now. Pickford or Unai Simon. I mean, if we're using this data, then I probably would say back the Spanish defence a little bit more. Do you expect Spain to have the most shots? I mean, they are projected to get more goals, so I would say yes. I'm obligated to captain an England player, just torn between Kane and Foden, as either could punish me one way or the other. Where are your thoughts on the England captain? And if so, who would you choose? If I was going to captain an English player, I would captain Harry Kane. He's on penalties. he is, like, that is just a gold mine. Like, we saw it in the last game. He picked up 8 points because he won the penalty, got the penalty. He's not been great, but he's still on for golden boot as well. So if I was to pick any English player, probably would be Harry Kane to captain. Is it better to use 2 goalkeepers or 1? I mean, you can only use 1 anyway. You haven't got the manual substitution, so you're only going to be able to use 1. Saka or Bellingham? I think Saka's better for projected odds, if I remember correctly. Let's have a look here. Actually, it's quite tight between the two of them, isn't it? I feel Bellingham is that big game player, though, a little bit more. So I probably would go for Bellingham on that one. Palmer captain, let's go. I hope it works out for you, man. I hope it works out for you. I hope it works out for you. I mean, everyone in the TikTok chat's just kicking off about, like, you know, which way to go with, like, you know, data and not data. Which way Spain or England's going to win. That's it. The YouTube chat, a little bit more sophisticated. A little bit more sophisticated. Think Trippier is a must start. Hopefully as a right footer can stop Yamal cutting inside. I mean, from the projected lineups, Shaw is being announced as the left back. But we'll wait and see on that one. Rodri is good for ball recoveries and loves scoring a big game. I agree with the second point, but in the semi-finals, he only actually picked up 1 ball recovery. So I'm not overly keen on that. And I'm going to actually look how many ball recoveries he's picked up across the tournament, because I don't think it's anything exceptional, especially compared to, like, Declan Rice, who's also in this final. So, yeah. Thoughts on Olmo, Rodri, Foden, and Saka midfield? Yep, that's fine. Williams cap. I probably would be more tempted with Olmo if I was to go for a Spanish midfielder, in my opinion. BG7, please don't spam. Tom will get your questions eventually. Nice one. Thank you for that one. Turkey in a bush. Channel moderator. Look at him. Look at him cook, eh? Look at him cook. I'm just going to take a look at Rodri's, obviously, projected goals. Where is he? Rodri. Not projected goals. Ball recovery numbers, because I don't think they've been that great. Yeah, I'm just looking through here, right? So this is Rodri's ball recovery numbers, right? So he picked up 2, in the semi-finals. 14 against Germany. Nice. 5 against Georgia. None. 5. 1. So it is that Germany game where it was obviously a big game where he absolutely dominated. And I do feel like Rodri is one of those players that could cook. Like, he very easily could cook on the old ball recovery front. Interesting. Interesting indeed. We're going to end the TikTok stream. If you want to come over to the YouTube chat, that is perfectly acceptable. Use the YouTube logo in the TikTok bio, and you could come over and chat about FPL with me or Euro Fantasy that we're currently talking about as well. So I'm going to end the chat here, and obviously I'll see you over on the YouTube one. Yeah, that TikTok one for the Euros just doesn't quite work. Like, for some reason, just no one clicks on it. Maybe it's because it's a lesser of a game, but the one for FPL will be back for next season, because we always get, like, plenty of people in that one as well. If you are enjoying this stream, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Obviously, there is plenty of high-quality content coming your way as well. Obviously, we've got the start of the FPL. I know, so Euros. That's already been and gone. We've got the start of the FPL season as well. There's already 2 videos on the channel for you to already go and check out. And with the game releasing next week, there's going to be plenty more content coming your way. Also got 3 yellows. Yeah, he has indeed. Rodri or Ruiz, I probably... what's the data suggesting? I think Rodri was slightly higher. Yeah, Rodri's slightly higher, so I probably would be going Rodri on that one. Obviously, at the moment, I've got Ruiz in, but I would be tempted to put Rodri in. Is it dumb to go 4 Spain and 1 English defence? I mean, to be honest, like, if you're favouring the Spanish to do well, if you've got to chase rank or maybe chase like a mini league rival, then I'm perfectly fine with that. They've got the better clean sheet odds as well, so I think it's perfectly fine. You've got to feel bad for Yamal and Williams not being able to celebrate your birthdays because your entire country is expecting you to perform. But the same thing, it goes the other way, doesn't it? It could be the best birthday of your life. Is it actually their birthdays today? Or was it yesterday? I think Yamal's was yesterday, right? Yamal. Doesn't come up. Spain. When was his birthday? 13th. So his was yesterday. I mean, to be fair, I think I'd have a quiet one if I knew I was going to be playing in the Euros final at 17. Nico Williams on the 12th. That one's a little bit more of a stretch. He probably still enjoyed his birthday, but it is what it is. It is what it is. If you're on the stream and enjoying it, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff as well. Williams Friday and your Miles was yesterday. Yeah, I think it is what it is. It is what it is. Keep the questions coming in. Keep sending me your teams as well on Twitter. I've seen we've had a few sent over already as well. We'll do those in about 20 minutes. We'll take a look at some of those as well. Like I said, there is plenty of FPL content coming your way. So lots of good stuff. Lots of good stuff coming your way, guys. What are we thinking for score predictions tonight? Because it's going to be a tight one, right? Obviously, like I did the research earlier, every Euro final is ridiculously tight. But like, I just don't know which way it's going to go, to be honest. I really, really don't know which way it's going to go. 3 or 4 defenders. I'd be more tempted with 4, just down to how, like, big games usually have, like, very, very tight margins in them. So, yeah, I'd be tempted with that. 2-0 to Spain. Fairs. Valid. Obviously, the better for the more kind of chance of clean sheets. I'm thinking we've either got a choice, right? We could either go 3-5-2 or we could go 4-4-2. Now, if we went 4-4-2, we wouldn't have Rodri, but we'd probably have, like, triple Spanish defence and Yamal. Or we could have, like, all England defence and just back it to the final. Who knows? Not going to lie, I think there'll probably only be, like, 1 goal in it. 4-2, England bring it home. I like the optimism, but I just don't see it happening. If Palmer gets some game time, it'll be interesting to see him versus Cucurella. Yeah, obviously they play at club level together, don't they? So probably know each other's games inside out. Name the last time England beat a team in the international football when they weren't favourites to win in tournament football. I mean, this game. Suggest an England defender. I mean, Mark Gahey's the best one. If we find out Luke Shaw's starting, he could be a decent one. Can't see both scoring tonight? Nah, neither can I. I think whoever scores probably first is probably just going to edge the game out, to be honest. I think it's going to be quite a tight and edgy affair, to be honest. That is my thoughts on it. Do keep your questions coming in. Obviously, we'll start making our transfers pretty soon as well. Like I said, if you are enjoying the stream on YouTube as well, I forgot we cancelled TikTok, but yeah, if you're enjoying the stream on YouTube, be sure to like, comment and subscribe and get those teams sent in if you do want them rating. But I imagine, kind of looking at most people, so I think we've only had like 1 sent in so far, but most people are kind of just toying between the same players, so it's quite hard to call this week. Jamie has said, so far I'm thinking Simon, Shaw, Cucurella, Carvajal, Laporte, Ruiz, Rice, Rodri, Olmo, Williams, Kane, Yamal. That's a pretty decent team, man. That's a good team. I rate that. Think it'll be KG? Yeah, agreed. I think it could be KG, and I think that's kind of the sentiment that's going around as well. Obviously, if you look at some of the data with projected goals as well. A guy called Sven was in charge, just saying England about to get their pants pulled down. You doing a watch along? Excited to see your tears. I mean, we're not doing a watch along because I have friends, Sam, and we're gonna go and hang out with them and watch the game and watch England win as well. So there we go. I'm 4 points away from the first player in my mini league. What's the best way to get first place? I mean, if you're only 4 points away, it's probably more around certain players, maybe picking up some differentials like the likes of Luke Shaw, maybe seeing who's going to start. Maybe Carvajal as well could be a decent one as well, with him being suspended and now back in the side, so his ownership is a little bit lower. But it's probably looking at more kind of differentials and maybe swapping around, captaincy as well. When was the last time we saw a major European thriller? Definitely hasn't been one for the last 4 years. Yeah, the last one was the Spain-Italy game where Spain won 4-0. That was one of the only games where it was over. The one before that was 2000s. So it's going to be extremely tight. And that's what's making me think, do I just back one defence to do quite well? That is what my thought process is at the moment. Do I back one defence to do quite well, hope for the best, and just, maybe see out like clean sheets and back Spain with the data? But I'm still a little bit unsure. Is Ollie Watkins going to start? Probably not. Penalties was a thriller for England in the last time. Yeah, the penalties, the less said the better, isn't it, really? The less said the better on that one. Less said the better, let's just put it that way. Is anyone else streaming at the moment for Euro Fantasy? I don't actually know if anyone else is streaming, to be honest. I think I saw maybe like one other person streaming, but that was about it. Oh no, there's a few, isn't there? FPL Dylan, FPL Fran as well. There's a few big boys kicking about, but that is mainly it, to be honest, because I do feel it's kind of, you know, sorted and tied up a little bit. Like, there's not too much. Like, usually we've had a lot of questions about, you know, different differentials and stuff like that, but obviously at the moment it's quite similar. A lot of people's teams are going to look like. Yeah, agreed. Obviously, because the game was over quite soon, then yeah, I think then obviously that did make it a little bit more of a dry affair, to be honest, didn't it? If you've got any questions about FPL as well, obviously we'll answer those. That game will be releasing next week as well, so get your questions in ahead of that one if you do have any that you might be potentially worrying about or, you know, thinking about as well. Get your questions in for that one. Wasn't the last World Cup final 3-3? I mean, it also had Messi and Kylian Mbappe in it. But then if we also get, like, World Cup data up, like, I'm just going to get, like, look at the past World Cup games. World Cup finals. Let's have a look. List of finals. Here we go. Results. So, let's... Oh, what's this? What's this? No, I just want to see, like, the actual World Cup finals. That's all I want. There we go. Results. So, obviously that one was a 3-3. 4-2 to France. Prior to that, a 1-0, a 1-0, a 1-1, a 2-0, a 3-0, 0-0, 1-0. So that's going back to 1990. So if we look at that data objectively, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 clean sheets in there. We have 1, 2, 3 games going over like 3 goals. So on, like, looking from a historic point, these games are usually tight. You do obviously get the odd anomaly and goals obviously start flying in, but historically, in both World Cup and European, usually the finals are quite tight and cagey. Sorry for teasing. Loved all your Euros content. Excited to watch your FPL stuff. No worries, man. No worries, Sam. We're always up for a little bit of flirting. Yeah, I get your point. I get your point, a turkey in a bush, about European football being a little bit cagey, isn't it? Just a tiny bit cagey. Do keep your questions coming in, guys. Like I said, we will try to answer as many as we possibly can. Now, I've got a decision to make. What do I do with my team, to be honest? Because I could back the Spanish defence and we could have 4 defenders in there. Or will it be better if we balance the team out a little bit more, get your Mal and get your Rodri in here? What do you guys think? Let me know. So we could either back the Spanish defence or we could get Rodri and then play like two from each side, if that makes sense. Have you seen how class James Rodriguez has been? Yeah, he's been class, hasn't he? Like, I think it was on like a TikTok. It was like one of those ones where it's like, oh, it goes back in time and stuff like that. But yeah, I saw that the other day. Pretty good stuff from him. I'm glad. Like, obviously, like, the 2014 World Cup was just like special for him. And you never want to see a player drop off. Like, it's just not what you want, is it? So, you know, we're all for players bringing back, you know, their heyday. It's all good stuff. Have we got any questions about FPL as well? Get those in the chat. What are you thinking about the pricing? Haaland at 15 million. I think it's good. I think FPL, if they make Saka, Son and Foden all above 10 million, I think we're in for an interesting season, to be honest, because building my first mock draft, it meant, like, you know, it was a little bit sketchy, to be honest. It was a little bit sketchy kind of with some of those prices. I think realistically, most people are going to be looking at a 2 premium draft for the course of the season and kind of just rotating between premium assets and who's got the best fixtures for captaincy. That's my initial thoughts on it, but obviously let me know what you're thinking. I think Palmer at 10.5 million probably rules him out of most people's teams unless him and Chelsea start to cook. Like, realistically, I said this to someone, it might have been even you, Turkey in a Bush. I think you mentioned it in one of the comments on the YouTube video. The fact that he got so many penalties, I don't think he's going to get those same number of penalties again. I just don't think it's going to happen. With a hypothetical infinite budget, which front three would you go for in FPL? I mean, for the start of this season, it would be Haaland, Watkins and Isak. That was the front three I was looking at, but couldn't afford to have all three of those without some big sacrifices in the back. So yeah, those for me. I think Ollie Watkins is going to have a great season. Matchday 3 onwards for Aston Villa. Some really, really saucy fixtures in there, to be honest. Some really, really saucy fixtures. So definitely a player I think could maybe go under the radar. Could maybe go under the radar. Obviously, we'll have to keep our eyes peeled on that one. But yeah, keep your questions coming in, guys. Like I said, if you do have any questions about Euro Fantasy or FPL in general, we're here to answer as many as we possibly can. Obviously, if you want your team rated by me as well, leave it under my most recent tweet at FPLTom_, and we'll try and rate as many as we can before the deadline. Isak top tier, yeah, he's great, isn't he? He's great. Hi, I am 4 points away from my top place in my mini league. How do you suggest I line up the team? I mean, if it's only 4 points, you probably still want to have a lot of the big boys, but maybe to catch those 4 points is 1 or 2 differential players that, you know, maybe your mini league rival isn't going to have, or maybe looking to switch that armband away. So maybe going for Yamal or Olmo, like rather than a lot of people are looking at Olmo, maybe go for Yamal or maybe go for Kane. That would be my advice on that one. With it being so tight, I think just, you know, 1 or 2 tweaks rather than drastic changes could be the difference, but it's going to be tight. Think Haaland would have been 15 last year if Kane was before the price announced. Yeah, I agree. Chelsea will surely cook this season. Looks way too much like Pep. There's just a lot of bold managers kicking about in the Premier League. That's all it is, man. So what do you think about Laporte versus Carvajal? We don't attack a lot down the left, so I think there's probably more ball recoveries for the left back, to be honest. Yeah, that's a very good point. It depends if Shaw starts, though. I think if Shaw starts, Carvajal could have a lot more to deal with. Obviously, Trippier doesn't get forward because he's just not comfortable on his left foot. Just the way it is. But if Luke Shaw starts, then I definitely think Carvajal could have something to think about. I think obviously he's got pretty good goal involvement in terms of expected data as well. So probably would slightly favour him over Laporte, but I understand your argument. Bum bum ba-dum 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 bum bum ba-dum bum bum. Keep your questions coming in, guys. Obviously, if you're enjoying the stream, you know, be sure to like, comment, subscribe. We've got a goal for the start of the new Premier League season. It is to try and hit we've already done 5,000. We're trying to hit 6,000 subscribers by the start of the new Premier League season. It would be pretty immense if we could do that. And obviously, you know, if you do enjoy any of the content that you see, be sure to like, comment, subscribe. All good stuff. I'm just going to pull the data back up, because I need to have a think. I need to have a think about what I'm doing with my team, to be honest. I think captain's settled. We're going to go with Olmo for captain. That for me is settled. A lot of the polls that I've been doing, it looks like most people are going to go with Olmo as well. Yamal probably be second, then maybe Kane third. I think if you wanted to have a little bit of a poke, maybe some people have asked about mini league captains and stuff like that. Kane might be the one, to be honest, if you're looking for that. Pretty good projected goal involvement, but yeah. After that, though, there's a big drop, which makes me think, like, do I just target the defence? And obviously, if I'm using the data for this point, why don't I just use it as well for the clean sheet data as well? So, yeah. Just something to potentially consider. I'm thinking Unai, Carvajal, Kuka, Stones, Laporte or Ruiz, Bellingham, Olmo, Saka, Yamal, Morata, Kane. I'm not a big fan of Morata, but I get it. He is obviously quite high on the projected goal involvement here. So, yeah. Who's on pens for Spain? Apparently, it's Rodri, but there's been no kind of confirmation on that. I would go Rodri over Rice instead of Ruiz, not going to lie. I mean, I'm happy with Declan Rice. I don't really have a problem with that one. But it's obviously then the question with this team, do we play a 3 at the back or do we play a 4 at the back? Because that would be the one. Do we play a 3 at the back or a 4 at the back? Foden or Bellingham? I think I'd go Bellingham. I think he's got that capability of obviously turning up in a big game. So I probably would go Bellingham. on that one. But I think Foden's a decent differential shout for this week. So yeah, we've got the choice realistically, right? What do we do? What do we do? Autocorrect just wrecked me. It did indeed, mate. It did indeed. So we could either back the England defence, we could back the Spanish defence, or we kind of balance it out a little bit. And if we balance it out a little bit, because the big question for me is, does an extra centre-back get more points than Rodri, or does Rodri get more points than an extra centre-back? What do you guys think? Rodri or an extra Spanish defender? What do you think? Because realistically, that's what it's going to come down to. Do you like Edison for FPL? He was solid for me at the end of last season. I do not like Edison. If you've watched my most recent video where I covered the draft, I'm obviously going to go ham on this late this season. For me, I'm going 4.5 million and then I'm going for a dead dud 4 million goalkeeper, sorry. I did some of the data, did some of the reading. Goalkeepers just aren't good for points historically and kind of looking throughout the season. Pickford got the top goal scorer, but he picked up quite a lot of points against the top six. I think out of his 150 points, he managed to pick up 51 points against the top six side. So I think rather than rotating for me, I'm just going to pick those lesser goalkeepers that play for a goodish defence historically and hope for the best. So for me, top pick is probably going to be Flecken. On average, my guess is defender gets more points than a mid if no goal. I guess, though, you've got the ball recoveries. Jake in the chat, obviously who I do the preview streams with for both Euro Fantasy and FPL as well. He has said the team for Spain is out. So let's go and take a look at that. If it wants to load. Spain. Who have they got in there? Is it out? Oh, it is out. There it is. 14 minutes ago. They've got Unai Simon, Carvajal, Lenormand, Laporte, Cucurella, Rodri, Fabian, Yamal, Olmo, Williams, Morata. I think pretty much as expected, to be honest. Should I captain Yamal? I think he's a decent option. Obviously, quite high projected goal involvement. I think, though, I would prefer to go for Olmo. Would you like to see ball recoveries introduced like the Euros? I would like to see them introduced. Like, I know it's obviously not as popular, but for me, I think it's added something to defenders. And especially it gives defensive midfielders as well, but I don't think they're going to do it. Who's the best defence in the Prem? I mean, it's probably City or Arsenal, isn't it, to be honest? What's my 11? You waiting for teams? Yeah, the Spain one's just come out. We're just waiting for the England one before we make transfers. But yeah, the key question I'm asking people at the moment is, do we go for Rodri or do we go for an extra Spanish defender? That's the question. Rodri or an extra Spanish defender? Let me know in the comment section, guys. Which way would you be going with that one? Would we go in Rodri or a Spanish defender? Who do you think is going to get more points? If I don't know if 5 at the back is a good thing. Guehi, Cucurella, Laporte, and Lenormand and Carvajal. I think it could be a good thing. I think it's going to be quite a tight game historically throughout the Euros as well. There's only been 2 games, since the 2000s that I've had over 3 goals in them. Yeah, agree with your point about centre-backs as well. I think it just gives an extra dynamic to the game, a little bit more thinking. 3 Spanish defenders or 2 Spanish defenders plus Guehi. It depends what you're going for. If you're looking to chase a little bit of rank, maybe behind in your mini league, I'd just back the Spanish defence and hope for the best. Tom, I want to win your mini league. Only 25 points behind first. Do I have a chance? I'm going 3-5-2. Walker, Pickford, Guehi, Carvajal, Williams, Olmo, Saka, Foden, Bellingham, Kane, Yamal. Who am I missing on a wild card? I think if you're on a wild card, mate, and you want to go and win this group, I think you've got to be a bit ballsy and back one team to the hills. Because I think what you're doing there, like realistically, most people's teams are going to have a lot of the key players in. So I don't think, unless you're captaining someone differential, you're not going to move much in that mini league, because a lot of people in that league quite clued up. They're obviously going to have very similar teams and very similar players, and probably captain, the player that's realistically going to get like the most goal involvement. So for me, if you're looking to win that mini league and obviously get the big shout out from me, which is what everybody wants, I would be looking maybe at doing something a little bit different, to be honest. I think you either back Spain or you back England, more in the defensive side as well, hoping for those clean sheet points and just hoping for the best. That's my personal opinion. If you're looking to get that bigger jump of 25 points, that's probably the strategy I would be going for, because otherwise, picking the same players as everybody else, probably not going to be too much wiggle room, in my personal opinion. But that's up to me. That's up to me. Keep your questions coming in, guys. Like I said, if you want your team rating by me as well, send it over on Twitter. But I imagine most people are going to be pretty comfortable. Obviously, we're just waiting for the England lineup to fly into our team as well. If you're enjoying the content that you see on the channel as well, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Like I said, we are trying to hit 6,000 subscribers by the start of the new Premier League season. Plenty of FPL content coming your way as well on the channel. So, you know, show your like, show your support. There's already one video out already on the channel, a mock draft, and it's doing quite well. So if you want to, you know, go and show some support to that one, head over there as well. If you've got any questions as well, get them in the chat, as we'll try to answer as many as we can. But realistically, we're just waiting for the England team now, aren't we? Who should I captain? Olmo, Kane, or Yamal, or Williams? Let's move on to this data. This is kind of the one that I've been using. For me personally, like, Kane's projected data is the best. I think that's because he's got penalties. I think Yamal and Olmo are great picks. I am slightly leaning more towards Olmo as a potential pick. Williams, the data's there, but realistically, Olmo and Yamal both outshining him. So I think if you're looking for like the best captain for this week, in my personal opinion, is going to be Danny Olmo. If you're looking for maybe somebody that's a bit of a differential, I probably would be maybe looking around Harry Kane, because looking at the poll in the chat, only 17% of people are going for Kane, whereas 44% are going for Olmo. So it depends what your objectives are as well. Do I go with Pickford, Guéhi plus 3 defenders, or Simon, Guéhi, Shaw plus 2 Spanish defenders? I mean, that one does balance itself out. I think I prefer the second option there on that one. Hey tomorrow, I'm guessing you mean hey Tom. I'm first in my mini league with 6 points off second place. My team has, and then you've just left it blank. I'm guessing you're typing your team out, so I'll come back to your question. I'll come back to your question, mate. I'll come back to your question. What do you guys think the score prediction is going to be as well? Because I'm not confident. I'm feeling it's going to be quite a tight game, to be honest. A very, very tight and cagey game, to be honest. That is my thoughts on that one. Obviously, we're just waiting for the England team before we make our transfers and obviously submit our team. Why Olmo? If I was to hazard a guess due to previous games, Olmo comes off before Yamal or Williams this game. I mean, not necessarily. Like, Yamal in the quarterfinals came off in the 61st minute. So I think realistically, the form that Olmo's in, the fact that he's going for the golden boot as well, I think puts him at top. Wild card gang, let's go. Yeah, there ain't no wild card on here. Ain't no wild card on here. Is going for someone like Palmer if you're chasing, even if he doesn't start. It's desperate, isn't it? Because if you want in that, you're also wanting England not to be winning the game, because that's realistically the only reason Gareth actually makes changes, if we're not winning games. But it's tight. It's tight. It really, really is tight, to be honest. Keep your questions coming in, guys. Like I said, we'll try and answer as many as possible. Obviously, my big dilemma is, do I go for an extra Spanish defender or do we go for Rodri? That's the big one. If you had to pick 3 forwards, who would you pick? I mean, to be honest, you're probably looking at Yamal, Kane and probably Morata because he's starting. Watkins is probably the other shout in there, or Tony, but the unpredictability of who's going to actually come on, because I didn't expect Watkins to feature again this tournament, and he has, so it is what it is. Sorry, Tom, that was a typo. My goalkeeper, Pickford. Defender, Laporte, Carvajal, Cucurella. Guéhi. Mid, Olmo, Nico, Rodri. Foden, Bellingham. Attack, Kane, Yamal, Morata. I'm struggling to field an 11. I would probably go, mate. Out of all of the players, I probably would be looking to bench maybe like Morata. I'm not a big fan of his, but I know other people are, but Morata probably makes the bench. So that would give you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So maybe go the 3 Spanish defenders, all 5 of the midfielders, and then maybe Yamal and Kane. That'd probably be my suggestion. Hey Tom, I'm 13 points off the lead. I've got Simon, Cucurella, Laporte, Cucurella, Gahey, Olmo, Jude, Rodri, Rice, Kane, and Yamal. Going with Yamal captain. Can I get on top with this? Yes, you can. You've obviously backed the Spanish defence quite well there as well. So I think if Spain do well and obviously Yamal turns up, which it does look like he's probably going to be the second most captain player if we're going off what the poll is saying in our chat. So I think that's a decent shout. Oh, turkey in a bush. Oh, turkey in a bush, man. Let's see. Has the England team come out yet? Or are we still waiting for it? Does anyone know if the England team's come out? Or we just got, like, obviously our projected lineups. Who am I captaining? I'm going to be going with Gakpo, to be honest. Not Gakpo. Olmo, sorry. We're going to be going with Olmo. It looks like he's probably going to be one of the most captain players for this match day, so we're just going to go with Olmo. We've got a pretty decent rank. We don't have anything really to chase. I think we can kind of make up the marginal gains with going for, you know, differentials rather than, you know, going anything kind of outlandish. But the big question is, do we back the Spanish defence? Or do, you know, or do we bring in Rodri? That's going to be the big one. That is going to be the big one. Yeah, Captain Gakpo, good shout. Bro, come on now. Who am I benching? I mean, currently, like, this isn't the plan. I think I'm going to get Ruiz out of here because he's not realistically going to be the one that we're going to do. We're going to do, where is he? Where's the boy? Rodri. That's going to be the one that will be in there, if anybody. Can you guys still see that? Yeah, you can. Yeah, that's probably who it's going to realistically be, to be honest. So if I was to bench one, we've got the dilemma between Rodri and one of the defenders. That's realistically what it comes down to. Bring Foden in, it's going home, right? I mean, yeah. I feel like if Spain wins, they literally every country will hate Cucurella. I mean, yeah. Foden or Olmo captain. I think if you're chasing, go for Foden. If you're not chasing, I'd go for Olmo. It's so tough. Like, what do we do here? What do we do here? Like, I do like Rodri. I do like Rodri, you know. I'm just going to quickly get up, like, his big game goals. Like, how many big... Like, obviously, like, we've been saying that the narrative is he always scores in the big games, but is that true? Is that actually true? Or are we just making it up? Who scored in the Champions League final for City when they won it? Was it him? Winning goal scored by Rodri. Oh, God. He just does turn up in big games, doesn't he? He just does turn up in big games. I think Spain are going to dominate the ball as well. I think England might just sit a little bit deeper. So I think with Spain dominating the ball, Rodri could just get the ball recoveries because we're just hoofing it out. It's so tough. It is genuinely so tough. It's probably just going to be like a marginal thing as well. There's not going to be too much of a swing in it, I hope. But, yeah. What do you think about fielding a whole 11 of either Spanish or English players? It's not actually possible. You're only allowed 8 maximum. But, like I said, if you're chasing rank, then yeah, definitely go for it. Like, if you're looking to obviously make up, like, big grounds on, like, mini-league rivals and stuff like that, you might as well just have a little bit of fun and back one of your teams. Like, whoever you think's got a more, like, probability chance of winning, go for it. Obviously, if you're English, probably back England a little bit more. Some people have sent me their teams in, so we're going to take a look at that quickly. Move to that view. Not that one. Get out of there. Here we go. Here's the team that we've been sent in. Kane, Yamal, Bellingham, Ruiz, Williams, Saka, Olmo, Cucurella, Gay. It's hard to say, isn't it, with these final ones? Like, I think this is a very good team. Like, yeah, you're just going with Olmo. It's fine. It's fine. It's really hard to rate people's teams in this situation because, well, basically, you know, they're all going to look pretty much the same. Lineups are out on the app. Wonderful stuff. No Trippier, apparently. Oh, cheers for the follow, man. Cheers for the follow. Appreciate that one. Defo not back in the England defence. Fair's valid. The England team is out. It is Shaw playing. So maybe if you are looking for a differential this week, Shaw could be the one. Shaw could be the one. Is it worth captaining Foden? Again, if you're chasing rank, then go for it. Hey Jeff, how's it doing, man? Welcome back to the Euro Fantasy stream. It's tempting. It's tempting, you know. Right, let's make the changes. Let's make the changes. 1, 2, 3, 4. I mean, realistically, we could... Could we upgrade Rice? Teams out, I know, yeah. Alright, how much money have we got left in the bank? 7.5, we can afford anyone. Alright, let's do that, because that's the transfers I'm thinking about. Confirm transfers. Let's move everyone into the team. Captain, Olmo, and confirm. Cool. Let's move over to this view so you guys can actually see my team. Oh, it's not quite there. There we go. There we go. Bosh. There we go. So that's how the team is currently looking. Obviously, the big one is, do we go for Rodri or do we go for an extra Spanish defender? Because what I've done with the defence is obviously covered it off with 2 from 2. So whoever keeps the clean sheet, we're going to get at least 12 points out of that. But then the big question is, do we back Rodri or do we back Laporte? Thoughts on Southgate AI videos? They are truly a work of art. They are pretty decent. But yeah, that's what we're currently thinking with the team. Or do we upgrade Rice? Do we move Rice away? But obviously he was pretty good at the old ball recoveries last time. But do I move Rice to Foden? Like, because Foden looked really, really good, I thought. Especially that first half. I thought he looked brilliant. Let's have a look. Player profile. Stats. What's his Euro stats been? 6 starts, 7.33. Probably a little bit unfortunate not to have got himself a goal, to be honest. 12 shots. He does like to have a shot. So I think if I was to go for anyone, maybe I get rid of Rice and put Foden in. Mainu or Rice going all out on England. I think Rice has, you know, he's going to see out the game, to be honest. So I probably would go Rice. Ruiz or Williams. I probably would go Williams. Slightly better for projected goal involvement. So do we upgrade Rice to Foden? Pickford over Simon is wild. Of Spain are going to score. I mean, it's just one transfer. And like I've always said to people, goalkeeper transfers for me are pointless. So we might as well stick with it. Foden captain. Yeah, I don't think it's the worst shout in the world. Got 5 transfers. What do I do? Send my team on Twitter. Cool, man. Let's go and take a look at that for you. Okay, so you got Bellingham. So probably Yamal's probably the obvious pick to go for as well. And then you can either go for, I probably would say if you want to balance it out, you could go for double English defence, or you could complete it and have a full Spanish defence or full English defence as well. Just depends what your objectives are you're chasing down. But for me, definitely one transfer in would be Yamal. I like Bellingham and Saka, that's completely fine. Cucurella, yeah. Gehi, yeah. Simon, yeah. But then obviously it's which way you want to back with your defence. That'd be my advice on that one, mate. Oops, that one. Shaw is starting. Yep, seen the lineup. Shaw is in the starting lineup for England. So an interesting one. An interesting one. I don't know what to do. I really, really don't know what to do here. Rodri, or do we go for that extra Spanish defender? It's so tough to call. It really, really is so tough to call. Because I feel like Rodri could have one of those games where he is just a big game player, isn't he? Rice is a sideways man. Foden might be the exciting pick to go for. Because at the moment we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, we're quite evenly split, aren't we, with both teams here? We're quite evenly split. If you're enjoying the stream, guys, obviously be sure to like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff as well. Ruiz or Rodri? I think Rodri's got better projected goal involvement, so I'd probably go for him as well. I didn't realise how good his ball recovery numbers were against Germany. 2 in the last game, but then 15 against Germany is pretty insane, to be honest. Pretty insane in the membrane. But do I play him over Laporte? That's the big question. Like, I would be backing the Spanish defence a little bit more then. It's so tough. It's genuinely so tough to call this one. I really don't know. If you've got any questions about your teams, guys, get them in the comments. Obviously, if you're new to the channel as well, there is going to be plenty of FPL content coming your way as well. Gehi or Walker? I'd probably go Gehi. Ball recovery fiend, isn't he? To be honest. Absolute merchant at ball recoveries. Shaw probably won't play the full 90. Expect Saka to go left back and Palmer to come on. Yeah, probably. Or they'll whack Trippier on. But yeah, I don't expect Shaw to see out a full 90, to be honest. But let's wait and see. You never know what could happen. Obviously, he's been slowly increasing his minutes across the tournament. So maybe he is full fit to play a full 90. Let's wait and see. Let's wait and see on that one. Triple Spain defence a good idea? I mean, I'm contemplating it myself. I am contemplating it myself, to be honest. Rodri over Laporte is definitely a good shout. I'd stick with your team. Fair enough. I'm doing it. I'm swapping Rice for Foden. I'm thinking about the same thing, Laura, to be honest. I might swap Rice for Foden. It just, like, picking Rice it's just a bit dishwatery, isn't it? It's not exciting. Foden gets you off your seat. He looks pretty good as well. It's one of them, isn't it? It is one of them. Saka and Foden or Bellingham and Rice. I mean, I'm in the same position myself. I think... I mean, Rice has pretty good ball recovery numbers, but I definitely think Saka and Foden are probably the more exciting one. Get Dunked On has said it's coming home. Hopefully so, man. Hopefully so. I think that's probably why I've gone quite heavy on the Spanish, is because either way, like... I'm not going to come away from this disappointed, because it'll be like England win, or, you know, I will be disappointed if England don't win, but like this will lessen the blow if we do pretty well at fantasy. I hope. I do hope. Rice or Foden, man. Rice or Foden. Let's have a look. I'm just going to quickly look at Rice's ball recovery numbers. Like, he's just been a 6 or a 4, a 6, 4, 5, 7 and 4. He doesn't get above that. But what about Foden? Foden's highest score this tournament has been a 5. So it's a gamble, but it's a gamble for like minimal points, it feels. What about Laporte across this tournament? What have you done? Because that's the big one. Laporte has got 7. Again, it feels like Rodri's probably the more sensible pick. Foden or Saka or Rice. I think let's move back to the old data for this one. As you can see, Foden is the top 4 English midfielders. Then it's Bellingham. Then it's Saka. So probably for me, I probably would be recommending Foden over Saka. But I think Saka's still a pretty decent shout. Rice is all right for ball recoveries, but as I've just looked at his point, he's probably not going to get above a 5 or a 6 this game. Yamal or Olmo captain, I'm slightly leaning more towards Olmo. Obviously, as you can see here, the projected data is fancy in Olmo, but it is more in terms of the expected assists rather than goals itself. So obviously with strikers getting less points for assists than midfielders, I think it's worth going for Olmo. Is Kane starting? He is indeed. He is indeed. It's a pretty regular England team. Oh, wrong one. There we go. Pretty regular England team. I'm feeling we might make the switch. We might make the switch from Rice to Foden. Like, it's ballsy. It is ballsy. But realistically, Rice is probably only going to get me like 5 or 6. Watch him score now, but that's what I'm thinking. Which 2 English midfielders would you pick? Probably Bellingham and Foden. Like, that's what I'm leaning towards. Captain Olmo, Ruiz or Yamal. I'm probably leaning more towards Olmo if you're obviously looking to kind of stick with a pack. Ruiz and Yamal are decent shouts. Probably Yamal above Ruiz. If I'm comfortable in my mini league but want a few more points, would you captain Olmo or Foden? I mean, if you're comfortable, I'd say just stick with Olmo. Like, people behind you are obviously going to have to make the rash decisions. You just got to make I'd say the more calculated decision. Olmo, with his obviously form this tournament, golden boot worthy as well. I think he's the one to go for. Laporte or Carvajal. Carvajal's better expected data in terms of attacking data. In terms of ball recovery numbers, it's going to be interesting to see on that one. I mean, Laporte doesn't have like amazing ball recovery numbers across the tournament, to be honest. He's only picked up 32. What's Carvajal picked up? Carvajal has picked up 24, so less ball recoveries, but obviously he's missed 2 games. When am I rating teams? Throughout the stream, man. So if you want your team rating by me, just leave it under my most recent tweet or whack it in the chat. I think Saka is a better option than Bellingham. Fair enough, man. You do you. Formation 3-5-2. That's what we're currently working with, but I'm also not against going for a 4-back. Rodri or Rice. I mean, Rodri is better for ball recovery numbers across the tournament than Rice, but it's who you think is going to probably dominate that midfield a little bit more. I feel this game has potentially, if Spain win it, got like a Rodri masterclass written all over it. That's why I brought him in. That's why I bought him in. But let's wait and see on that one. Do we switch away from Rice to Foden? It's a big one. It's a big call. Foden, Ruiz or Rodri? I mean, I'm kind of having a little bit of a similar doubt. I'd probably put Rodri with the type of game this one's going to be first. Foden second, Ruiz third in that order. 2 Spain defence, 1 England defence. Yeah, I think that's fine. Like, it depends who you got in your goalkeeper. Like, just, yeah. I mean, Spain have better clean sheet odds than England for this game projected. Sorry. So, you know, maybe if you're looking from a data standpoint, you wanting to back one team over the other, Spain's probably the better defence to back. Winner of the final keeps Jay Slater. Bro, they can have him. Winner of the final gets Benidorm. That's the real prize. That is the real prize. I think we're going to do it. I think we're going to do it, you know. I think we're going to make the switch. We're going to take out Rice. I know you've been good to us. Look at some steady points, but nothing exceptional. I want a bit of fun watching this final game. But Spain's clean sheets. I can't do it. I can't do it. We're going back. I'm struggling, man. I'm struggling. There you go. You guys can see that again. Keep your questions coming into the chat, guys. Any questions you do have, let me know down in the comments section below. Obviously, the big debate we're having is, you know, which one do we go for? I mean, we could drop Rice for Laporte and just back that Spanish defence to the hills. Pretty sure Spain will score. Better to go with a full Spain defence. Again, if you're chasing, go for it. But obviously, it's probably going to be quite a tight and cagey affair, I imagine. That's what I'm thinking. Due to no wildcards, this is the best I can do. Pickford, Stones, Carvajal, Laporte, Kuka, Bellingham, Williams, Rodri, Saka, Olmo, Kane, Lamau. Any advice? No, I think that's fine, man. I genuinely think that's fine. Why playing Cucurella over Laporte? Probably a good question, to be honest, mate. Who's had more ball recoveries? Because that is where we're going to be looking. Cucurella's been pretty pissy the past few games, hasn't he? 31 ball recoveries. What's Laporte on? Laporte, if you want to load, 32. There's one ball recovery in it. Sent my team. Can you rate it? Yeah, no worries, man. Stones or Walker already have Gahey. I probably like it's very tight between those two because the ball recovery numbers are pretty pish. Like there's not really too much to split them, so I probably would say Stones, maybe a little bit of set piece threat. I think Walker's mainly going to be in there to deal with Yamal tonight, isn't he? And Williams, whichever way they kind of line up and switch. But it's probably going to be Williams. Am I right? Left. Right, yeah, so it'll be Williams. I think Laporte or Carvajal. I've gone with Laporte. We're gonna put Laporte in. Okay, put Laporte in. Bosch. Make sure you guys can. Oh, there we go. There we go. If you've got any questions as well about FPL, obviously that is launching this week. So if you do have any, get those in as well, as we'll try to answer as many of those as we possibly can. If you're already a subscriber of the channel, be sure to like the stream. It does push it out to more people. The more people we get in here, you know, the more time I can take off work. It all just multiplies, doesn't it? It's all good stuff. I'm stuck between two options. Pickford, Gahey, Cucurella, Carvajal. Pickford, Laporte. I mean, it's one of those, isn't it? Like, if you're feeling like the Spain defence, obviously with the data, it is suggesting Spain are more likely to keep a clean sheet. So, I probably would lean more towards that Spanish one. Start Ruiz or Morata. I mean, Morata's pretty good for projected goal involvement, but I don't like Morata as an option. So, my advice would be Ruiz. Thoughts on Shaw now he's starting, attacking, and picked up 4 ball recoveries in 45 min and 3 in 32. Yeah, I'd probably go for Luke Shaw. I think that's a pretty decent shout, isn't it? Mainu for a differential. He's in my Bet365 team. He had a pretty decent game, to be honest, in the semis. If you had to choose between Carvajal and Cucurella, who would you choose? I mean, I think it's pretty clear there who I've chose. I've chose Carvajal. Why not 4 defenders? I am tempted, but who would I drop? What I like the big debate I was having was, do I drop Rodri or do I drop Rice? Lenormand, Cucurella or Carvajal probably would go. I think Carvajal. Ferran Torres as a differential. I mean, he's probably only going to see maybe 30 to 40 minutes if Spain win in regular time or England win in regular time. So, yeah, I'm like that on that one. All 4 Spain defenders, or should I put Shaw in? I mean, if you're chasing rank, I would recommend, backing one team over the other. They have the better projected kind of expected goal clean sheet involvement as well. Rodri or Nico Williams. I think Nico Williams has pretty good projected goal involvement. Obviously, he's going to be up against Kyle Walker, and usually when players have pace, Kyle Walker deals with them quite well. So I probably would be tempted with Rodri. I think with the tightness of this game, I think it could be an interesting one. Someone sent me their team on Twitter, right? Let's have a look. Yeah, we've had quite a few G's. Let's take a look. There's not really too much I can kind of decide between, but everyone's team is gonna look very, very similar. So yeah, that's fine. I'd rate the England. I love the England stack. Go for it, mate. Go for it. Love it. 1 free transfer in case of a warm-up injury. Yeah, I mean, probably, yeah, then just pick someone on the bench. Might change Williams for Rodri. Captain Olmo, thinking about Williams or Ruiz or either Saka or Rodri. I think Rodri might be a decent shout. If I was to take anyone out, maybe Bellingham or maybe Ruiz because they play very similar roles, to be honest. And then the final one here, Yamal, Kane, Williams, Olmo, Saka. Yeah, this is what I mean. Like, you're either going to back Spain to the hills or back England to the hills, like if you're chasing. If you're maintaining, probably split it evenly a little bit more, like I have done with my team. But yeah, that's my advice on that one. Why Rodri and not Ruiz, and why Rice and not Foden? I mean, we're debating whether or not to keep Rice, to be honest. But I like Foden hasn't done anything this tournament. His projected data is not great either, but he is projected more goal involvement from the bookmakers and from 11FI as well. Foden or Saka? I mean, Saka's at least scored, and I think will stay on the pitch longer due to his versatility. So I'd probably say Saka. Simon for clean sheets or Pickford for save points. I mean, it's so tough. Like I said, the data is suggesting. Let's bring this up quickly. The data is suggesting that Spain are more likely to win, more likely to score more goals, and more likely to keep a clean sheet. So probably go for Simon in that regard. Should I bring in Watkins over Kane? Probably not. Ruiz or Rodri? I've gone with Rodri, so I'd recommend him. Bellingham or Foden? I think Foden is projected higher goal involvement for this game, so if you want to use data, you know, use that. Personally, I think Bellingham's more the big game player. But yeah, are you picking Gahey? I mean, we could get Gahey for Walker. We've still got one transfer kind of kicking about, so we could get Mark back in. We could do that. We could go and get old Mark for the old ball recovery merchant. I mean, I feel it would be just, wouldn't it? We would be kind of playing out a very boring final, though. But yeah, Mark might make his way back in. I guess that's what we do with the last transfer. Do we either drop Rice completely, put Cucurella in, back the Spanish defence a little bit more, or do we obviously go for somebody like Gahey? That's the big one. Bellingham or Saka? I think I'd probably go Bellingham. If you are new to the channel, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Like I said, there's plenty of FPL content coming your way over the next few weeks as well. If you're already an original subscriber, hit that like button as well, as it does push it out to more people. We are obviously trying to hit 6,000 subscribers by the start of the new FPL season. So if you do want to help me hit that goal, be sure to hit that subscribe button as well. And obviously you can be part of these more fun lives. Rodri or Rice? I probably would go Rodri. Who do we go for? What was Mark Gahey's ball recovery numbers like last game? Were they pretty decent? I don't actually know. I'm off to watch the build-up. Love the content, Tom. We'll keep watching your FPL stuff. Come on, England. Yep, that's completely fine, man. I'm probably only going to be live till about 22 and then kind of get in the build-up and get in the mood myself, to be honest. So, you know, we'll see who's live. We'll obviously fire some people if there's a smaller YouTuber as well. But, you know, we're going to be live till 22. Then, like I said, I'm just going to soak in the atmosphere, enjoy it as myself a little bit as well. But, yeah, this is probably how the team is going to remain lined up. We'll probably go for Gahey. Let's have a look what he did ball recoveries last game. 3 ball recoveries. Not exceptional from old Mark, is it? But we know what a fiend he is with the old ball recoveries. Sent my team, babe. It's coming home. Lovely stuff from you, man. I love that. Let's have a look at this bad boy then. Oh, there it is. Whoa, he's gone for it. It's sexy, isn't it? Pickford, Stone, Shaw, Gahey, Cucurella, Williams, Foden, Saka, Bellingham with the armband, Kane and Yamal. All right, I can get on board with that. Is that all 5 of your transfers used? I'm guessing so, yeah. I'm guessing it is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, I'm guessing that's all of them used. But yeah, I rate it, lad. I rate it. I mean, you might as well... Do you drop Cucurella for Ruiz or hope that he gets decent ball recovery numbers? I think it's fine. I think it's a toss-up between Ruiz and that, isn't it? But I rate it, lad. I rate it. You think Foden is a good differential captain? I do indeed. 4 Spanish mid and Foden, or 3 Spanish mid, no Nicholas and Foden. I'm 200 in the world, so I'm chasing. Yeah, I had to sacrifice Trent for Bellingham to come in. Fair enough, man. I rate it, lad. I rate it. I hope it comes off. I hope it comes off. Someone please rewrite that question again. Going off ball recovery is nice. It's everybody's favourite metric, isn't it? I think, while you're in the chat, I've got a question for you. Do I play Rodri or Cucurella? Or do I play Rice or Cucurella and back the Spanish defence? Or do I take Rice out for Foden? Or do I just do Walker to Gahey and leave it as it is? Because no goals, of course. Watch it be the best final ever. Carvajal or Cucurella? I mean, you can pretty much see where my decision is on that one. I'm 6 points ahead, but I don't have one defender. Should I get a new defender for 4 points or just keep it the same? Keep it the same. Don't be taking a minus, especially if you're already ahead. How many transfers left? Just the one. Just the one. People are saying leave it. People are saying back the Spanish defence. I mean, I've got this team set up where it's going to be more dominant to Spain and probably a little bit of a duel fest. But let me know. Let me know what you're thinking, guys. Do I put Shaw in for Laporte or Cucurella, or do I keep them both? I mean, I can't remember your team off the top of my head, but obviously let me know what you're doing. If you're chasing rank, I would suggest like just having a little bit of fun with it, backing one defence over the other. But Shaw's a very good, decent differential as well in that same regard. Go all out, Watkins in. Bro, Watkins ain't making this team, is he? He ain't making this team. Why do I feel like Rodri differential captain could cook? Go for it, man. Go for it. Obviously, I've bought Rodri in. He's just a big game player. He is one of my favourite players in world football as well. He is probably the best midfielder in the world right now. It's a big claim, but I think he is. Can you check my team? Yeah, of course. Did starting lineups come out? Yep, starting lineups are already out. It hasn't come through, man. So if you want to send it me again, just make sure you're atting myself and following me, because sometimes it doesn't pull through. What's your rank now? 29k. That is my rank. 29k. If you look at the top, right above me, there we go. Obviously, it'll flash through. But yeah, 29k at the moment. That's why we're probably playing this a little bit more cautiously than most, to be honest. Just kind of like hoping a little bit. I think you need to manifest an England dub and get Foden in and take that armband off. That's oh dear, dear, dear. I mean, I'm just a pessimist, aren't I? Like that's how I'm feeling. I'm just feeling a bit pessimistic. Currently top 4K. I have activated my wildcard and have this team: Simon, Carvajal, Cucurella, Laporte, Gahey. Yep. That's a very decent team. I mean, Watkins is probably the only one I probably wouldn't be going for, but I get it. But at the same time, it's a bit punty. How about this for a punt on a 0-0 and it go into pens? Pickford, Gahey, Laporte, Cucurella, Walker, Lenormand, Rice, Rodri, Ruiz, Mainu, Morata. Most likely for great ball recoveries. I mean, if you wanted to, like, you know, not watch a spectacle this evening and watch a boring 0-0 and hope for penalties, then go for it, mate. Go for it. I'm fully behind it. Should I transfer in Ruiz for Olmo? No, definitely not. Definitely not. 4-4-2 or 3-5-2? I'm having that same debate myself. Obviously, historically, European finals, they are quite tight. As I said, only 2 finals since the 2000s have had over 3 goals. We've also got the fact that 4 out of those finals since 2000 have had clean sheets for teams as well. Gonna go with your word and Captain Gakpo. Good luck. Good luck, man. No one will be here to congratulate you getting Olmo right when he bags a hat. Bro, everyone will be here congratulating me. That's why. That's why everyone, all the Spanish lads that have been in the chat, they've been like, oh, si, senor, you know. I actually can't speak any Spanish. You can, Jay. You can speak Spanish. Have you ever been to Spain? I don't think you've ever been to Spain, have you, mate, to be honest? Simon or Pickford, Saka or Foden. Depends who you've got in your other defenders and whether or not you're looking to just back one defence over the other. But I think Foden over Saka for me personally, slightly. But okay, man, I'll have another check in a second. Unai Simon or Pickford. I mean, it's so tight, isn't it? Like, again, it depends who you've got in there and anything like that. English or Spanish, I have to talk. So, you know, that kind of already confirms that one. But I have to talk because, you know, it's a stream. But otherwise, I'd just be like that. Let's have a check for you, man. Has it come through? There we go. Here's your team, man. Hi, this is my Limitless team. What are your thoughts? Have a nice day, mate. I mean, you're kind of like already back in Spain. Joselu out. I'd get Joselu out and I'd put another Spanish defender in here and just blast it for Spain to win. Because that's the way you look. You kind of, your team's already set up. So for me, I'd get Joselu out, get another Spanish defender in here and hope for the best, or put an English midfielder in here or another Spanish one. Obviously, no Olmo in. There's a bit of a mishap, to be honest. But yeah, there you go, mate. There you go. Is it better free Spain and 2 English defence or feign if I'm chasing rank? I'd probably recommend just backing one team if you're chasing rank. Olmo, Nicholas, Rodri, Bellingham, Foden. Who to drop for Ruiz? Probably no one. I prefer all the other options over Ruiz, to be honest. I really, really do. That's my argument on that one. I'm 60k, so Foden, Kane for captaincy. I probably would say I'd be leaning more towards Kane for captaincy. Quite high projected goal involvement. Keep your questions coming in, guys. Like I said, if you are new to the channel, be sure to hit that subscribe button, like button, all that good stuff. Plenty of FPL content coming your way as well. Which part of England am I from? Originally, I'm from a place called Mansfield, which you've probably never heard of, but now I live in Leeds for work. But yeah, originally from Mansfield. Obviously, we support Mansfield as well. With the old setup, you used to be able to see the Mansfield kit. Now we just have like half a Gothenburg scarf and then a Dortmund kit as well. Isn't not having Ruiz a bit risky given what he's been doing? Not really. Like, I feel like he's probably the only high-owned player I haven't got. So if he turns up, he turns up. But everyone's going to have very similar teams. So there's like very marginal gains to be had this week, in my personal opinion. But him and Rodri play quite a similar role, and I feel it's going to be quite a tight game. Bellingham or Morata? I probably would go Bellingham. I thought Southgate would keep on continuing Luke Shaw over Trippier in the final. Yeah, I did as well, but I'm glad he's put a left footer there, to be honest. Rodri or Fabian Ruiz? I am slightly leaning more towards Rodri. Are you going to switch to a 4-4-2? I don't actually know. I don't know. I think I might. Shaw or Gahey? I mean, Shaw is a super differential, so if you're looking to gain some rank, Shaw could be a very decent shout. Thank you for all the tips and the Euros. No worries, man. Plenty more to come with FPL just around the corner as well. Obviously, there's already a video out, but we will have streams like this every single deadline. There'll also be a preview stream as well. So, you know, plenty of content coming your way from the old FPL standpoint. Keep your questions coming in, guys. What are we going to do with this? Are we going to change Walker to Gahey? Are we going to change Rice to Foden? Or are we going to back the Spanish and go Cucurella over Rice? It's so tight. It is genuinely so tight. Which way do I go with that? I don't know. Ruiz or Bellingham? I probably would go Bellingham. On that one. Thanks, mate. Let's see how it goes. Yeah, hopefully it goes well. Hopefully it goes well for England. I hope. But yeah. Cucurella or Carvajal, I think with my team selection, it probably explains which way I'm kind of leaning more towards on that one. Actually, I am playing anti-fantasy. Whoever I captain or transfer, they didn't play well till now. I don't know how it happened to me in FPL 2. It just sometimes works like that. Like, it's just, at the end of the day, like, you can do as much research, you know, into the data, everything like that. But sometimes, like, I'd say, like, planning and kind of preparation is probably 60 to 7% of why you do well. The rest is luck. It really, really is. Like, you know, we can look at ball recoveries, we can look at projected data, we can see which team we think is going to do better. At the end of the day, it's just a bit of luck sometimes that comes into things. Rice or Foden? I mean, I am tempted with Phil Foden. We've still got one transfer left. Gahey or Rice? I probably would be more leaning towards Mark over Rice. Anti-FPL looks really fun to play. It does look quite fun to play, doesn't it? Saka or Foden? I think Saka's probably going to stay on the pitch a little bit longer, so I probably would go Saka on that one. Both decent shouts, though, for this final. Both pretty decent shouts, to be honest. The day I captain Salah and he gets a red card. Lovely stuff, mate. Keep your questions coming in, guys. Obviously, I'm still debating what to do with this team. Do we play Rice or do we play Cucurella? Rice or Cucurella? Who's going to get more points? Shaw or Carvajal? My defense is Unai Simon, Gahey, Laporte. I mean, I think Shaw's probably going to play less minutes, but is a differential. So maybe if you're chasing rank, Shaw could be the one. But if you're looking for minutes and security, maybe Carvajal's going to be the one. Hey bro, how are you? I'm from Portugal. What do you think about Morata? I'm not a big fan of Morata. I don't think a lot of people in the kind of FPL, kind of Euro fantasy community are either. Rice or Foden? I mean, I think Foden is brilliant. Like, I'm still stuck here with Rice. But yeah. I am tempted, but I am really, really tempted to switch Rice out for Foden. I really, really am. I don't know what to do because it is so tight on that one. And then at the same time, could I just drop Rice completely and put Cucurella in? I don't know. What do you guys think? Who takes penalties for Spain? Apparently it's Rodri. Again, they've not had a penalty for us to decide this, but apparently it's Rodri. So I think that's quite why he's probably quite high on the old projected data as well to do quite well this week. Keep your questions coming in, guys. Mark Gahey or Shaw? I mean, Gahey is the ball recovery master, isn't he? But Luke Shaw is a pretty decent differential. Obviously, the main concern is around his minutes. I might keep Walker, you know. Because if he's going to have Nico Williams running at him, he could do really, really well for ball recoveries. Could do quite well for ball recoveries in that front. Pickford, Carvajal, or Simon and Shaw? I mean, probably Simon and Shaw, the differential ones that could be payoff in that regard. I think both are pretty decent options, though. Laporte or Carvajal? I think Carvajal also has very similar-ish ball recovery numbers, so I probably would say Carvajal has that attacking appeal as well. Kante is everywhere and might appear in the final. Maybe. Rice averages 4 points. He does, but what's... Rice might average 4 points, but what's Cucurella averaging over the tournament? Let's have a look. 10, 6, 4, 3, 3. Nothing exceptional, is it? Foden's is even limiter for like average across the tournament. Maybe we go Saka. What's he been averaging? 6-2, 3-3, 11-1. Yeah. Yeah. Shaw or Laporte? Probably I'd say Laporte. Probably say Laporte. Keep your questions coming in, guys. We'll stay live probably for about another 10 minutes, and then I'm just going to go and make some food and obviously start to enjoy the Euros as well, as I imagine a lot of you are going to do as well. Obviously, this will be the final stream, and I just want to say, guys, a massive, massive thank you for everything you've done throughout the Euros, to be honest. You guys have been absolutely immense. What a time to sneeze. You guys have been absolutely immense. When we started, obviously, making Euros content, I think we had around 3,800. We're now at like 532. So it's like 1.5k growth, which is absolutely amazing. Like, I can't thank you guys enough. We're now on the road to 6,000 before the FPL new season. Obviously, there's going to be plenty of content on the channel as well. So massive, massive shout out to you guys. You've been absolutely immense. Love it. Even if England don't win, it's still been a great tournament for me personally. Made lots of good friends. Made plenty of subscribers. And, you know, doing these streams is you know, just great stuff, isn't it? So your support is massively, massively appreciated by myself. Because you know what? You're all legends and you're all heroes. If England win it as well, though, I think that just adds an extra little sweetener on the cake, doesn't it, really? Jamie's right. One of our channel moderators, he said, hit that like button. Definitely, boys. Hit that like button for me. How about Cucurella, Laporte, Gahey, Simon defence? Yeah, that's fine. It splits it kind of nicely. I mean, Gahey's probably in there for the ball recoveries, isn't he? But, yeah. I get it. I get it. Keep your questions coming in, guys. Like I said, we'll stay live for about 10-ish so minutes. Then we'll go and obviously start to enjoy some of the prep as well. Is anybody else live streaming Euro Fantasy? Let's have a look. Who else is live? FPL Fran, FPL Dylan. What's he doing? No worries, man. No worries. Appreciate you in the chat, man. It's good to see. It's good to see. His chat is popping off, by the way. 900 people in there. One day, mate. One day. We'll get one day. He's going Olmo captain, Williams, Bellingham, Saka, Ruiz. He's gone Ruiz over Rodri. Interesting. He's also got Shaw currently in there as well. His rank's ridiculous. 4k rank is mental. Absolutely mental. So go and check him out afterwards. That's pretty insane. FPL V is also live as well. So we'll probably, if he's still live, we'll probably go out there, probably go and raid him as well. He's a pretty decent guy as well. So yeah, we'll probably give him a raid as well. As the only English defender, Stones or Gahey, I probably would go Gahey. He is the ball recovery fiend, isn't he? It's been his tournament as well, which is what we love to see. It is genuinely what we love to see. You're not far off 900. We've still got a long way to go. We've had some pretty monumental streams, I'd say, to be honest. Yeah, Dylan has slapped this tournament. He has. He really has. I thought I was doing well, but Jesus, 4k is pretty immense. Pretty good stuff going from him, to be honest. So congratulations to him, man. Deserves all the support he's getting at the moment. Hopefully we can have a pretty decent start to the FPL season. If we can, who knows what can happen to this channel. Who knows what can happen. Obviously, plenty of content coming your way with the new FPL season. If you've got any questions about FPL as well, we'll answer those in the past kind of few minutes as well. And like I said, if you are new to the channel, we are trying to hit that 6,000 subscriber mark. So, yeah, plenty of content coming your way, guys. Streams, videos, lots of good stuff coming your way. This is what we're currently leaning with. Carvajal or Cucurella, I mean, it's probably pretty self-explanatory from my team setup. I will post obviously my team on Twitter when I've decided what I'm doing, but I think, to be honest, this is probably how it's gonna be. Maybe the only change would be Walker to Gahey and just have the ball recovery menace himself in there, but other than that, I'm probably just gonna leave it as is. I'm kind of in two minds with Kyle Walker because I feel if he's got Williams running at him, maybe he just kind of stays, like, you know, he doesn't attack or anything like that. But obviously then if he gets a yellow early, does he come off? Just something to think about. Just something to potentially think about with that one. Keep your questions coming in, guys. Like I said, you've been absolutely immense in today's stream and out for the entire Euros as well. Should probably get around to making my team. You probably should, Jamie. Are you finished with your captain or still thinking? Nah, captain's been pretty much set and forget, to be honest, since obviously I looked at this game week, to be honest. As you can see from the chat poll as well, best captain for Matchday 7. Olmo is leading the poll as well. We're closing in on 800 votes for that, so that's pretty impressive as well. So big shout out to you guys for that one. Captain Olmo for sure. Yeah, Olmo's going to stick as the captain, to be honest. If I was going to change it to anybody, it'd probably be Kane, but I'm just going to stick with Danny Olmo, to be honest. He's going to be our captain going into this final. Boom, 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 boom. Middle of the match, can we sub players? No, you cannot. No, you cannot. That's it. Once they're in, locked, done, forget. Done. Bosh. Simple as that. Simple as that. But yeah, like I said, there's plenty of content coming out for the FPL season, the new FPL season. You know, there's a video already out on the channel talking through my mock draft. There's one about best promoted players as well. But I feel like this year, some of the pricing of kind of the mid to upper end Premier League teams, especially for defenders, probably means we're not really going to be looking at that one. Williams or Ruiz for ball recoveries, possibly, because Williams could possibly be shut down by Walker. He could, so I get your argument for going for Ruiz. Really thinking about Rodri captain, bro, go for it. If you're thinking about it, just have a little bit of fun, do it. Can we sub managers want to sub Southgate? Bro, he's got to swim for final. It's coming home. If he wins it, he has to be there for the World Cup. Simple as that. Done. Bosh. The football might have been terrible, but back the boy. Back the boy Southgate. That's all I'm going to say, innit? Back the boy Southgate. Do we make another change? Do we get Walker out and do we get him in? I don't know. Do we get Walker out? Do I replace Walker with Cucurella? Or do I go and get Gahey for Walker? Or do I just leave Walker in there? Okay, going to build my team now. Be right back, boys. If Tom finishes the stream before, then I'm back. Good luck to everyone. Nice. Big shout out to you, Jamie, man. Yeah, Gareth's staying all the way, baby. I mean, the football's been absolutely abysmal, but Gareth all the way, baby. Get him to sign that new contract. Get him to sign the new deal. It's coming home. Simple as that. Gahey or Walker, I'm having the exact same thoughts. I'm thinking Walker could do quite well for ball recoveries because he's going to be playing Williams. But at the same time, is that pace going to destroy him? But then at the same time, you got Shaw and Gahey dealing with Yamal. Thoughts on Kane as captain? I think he is a very decent shout. He is the highest projected goal involvement for any player, so I think it's a really decent shout. Carvajal or Cucurella? I mean, as you can see, I've gone with Carvajal on that one. I feel Gahey more consistent for the ball recoveries because it definitely won't be a 0-0 game, in my opinion, so the clean sheet isn't too important. I feel like there's not going to be many goals in this. I think one team is keeping a clean sheet, in my opinion. Right, Rodri captained, pretty much confirmed. Second in my league, unless first has a stinker. Bro, Rodri's going to smash it. So there you go, done. Don't fix it if it ain't broken. That's the mantra of English football. I mean, yeah, it's not really been. It's sort of worked. It's not fully worked though. Valid. Maybe we do make the switch then. You know what? Let's do it. Let's get my boy in here. Like I've loved owning him this tournament, so let's just do it. Transfer out. Let's get the boy back in. The boy wonder. Mark Gahey. He's actually more of a differential than Kyle Walker. Let's do it. Bosh. We've done it. Get that off the screen. I'm not going to miss that. That's been so annoying this tournament. But yeah, we've done it. We've gone with Gahey. Let's do it. Cucurella or Laporte and why? I mean, it's very, very tight. I think there's one ball recovery in them, so that's why I've gone for Laporte. I feel maybe if Spain are losing as well, they might whip him off and obviously bring Grimaldo on, whereas Laporte's probably going to see out the game. Would you consider captaining Yamal? I think he's a decent option, isn't he? He's a decent captain option, but probably not the one for me. Probably not the one for me. I'm going with Olmo. He's got the very, very similar projected goal involvement. Like, there's very, very little in it. So, you know, very, very little in it, to be honest. Cool. I think we're going to leave it there, guys. What we're going to do is quickly... let me get my thing up. Who am I looking for? There he is. There is my friend. Go and obviously show him some support. Like I said, you guys have been absolutely immense throughout the tournament. I'm big fan. It could be his moment. It could be his moment, and I fully get that. Foden could be the one. But yeah, go and show my boy some support. Go and tell him FPL Tom sent you. Go and you know, drop him some love in the chat. So yeah, go and check out my boy FPL MZ or MV. I can't remember his channel name. MV, and tell him that FPL Tom sent you. But yeah, we're gonna call the end to today's stream. I'm gonna go get some food and obviously start to enjoy the Euros hype. Get a little bit involved, get a little bit into the final as well. But go and check him out. Obviously, go and tell him that FPL Tom sent you. Go and spam his chat with plenty of love and support as well. As always, guys, though, you know, massive shout out to you guys this Euros. You've been absolutely immense. Love every single one of you. So big shout out to you. Lots of love. See you for the FPL season.